Welcome back, YouTubers, to another Monday Night Raw review with us, the British Fist.
Coaching!
I am Mr. Parkin, and this here we have, well, what can only really be described as Terminator NJ.
What's up?
What's up, indeed? I was expecting you to say it in a more Arnie, more serious voice there, to be honest with you, NJ.
What's up?
Yeah, it works. Subscribe above, like this video, and comment your thoughts down below. And comment your thoughts on NJ's new look here. I mean, I'm pretty bland and samey, but this guy is changing his look all the time. Like a certain highlight reeling superstar this today.
Yes, that is very true. Yes, this is maybe a new gimmick of mine, but let's just get into Raw.
Yes, indeed. Make sure you contact us in the links in the description box below.
Yes.
As NJ usually says, NJ Terminator obviously doesn't say that line anymore. No. Also, make sure to check out our WrestleMania review series, which will be coming up the Wednesday after Royal Rumble. Look forward to that one, guys. Let's get straight on to Raw. Today was the go-home show, or tonight was the go-home show, if you're watching it tomorrow. Last night was the go-home show for the Royal Rumble. And we opened up this week's show with none other than CM Punk. And he comes out talking about he's going to get screwed at the Royal Rumble with the whole Johnny Laurinaitis thing going on. And then John Cena comes out, which is a real surprise to me, because you have your WWE champion open the show, then you have Cena coming out. That was a bit weird, wasn't it?
Well, with Cena coming out, I just thought, okay, back to Cena coming to the opener. I was thinking, a face and a face. I just thought, okay, something's going to happen here, because it's not something you expect. It'd be normally a heel coming out, like maybe a Ziggler or Laurinaitis. So for Cena to come out, it was definitely giving us thinking, oh, what's going to happen next?
He talks about John Laurinaitis screwing over Zack Ryder, and John Laurinaitis, you should resign! I'm like, yeah, that might happen later on next week, brother, but we'll get to that later. And then John Laurinaitis comes out saying that he stood by what he said last week, and that Zack Ryder will go against Kane tonight in a Falls Count Anywhere match. If Cena gets involved, then he won't get another US title rematch. Well, after tonight, we don't even know whether we'll be wrestling again, but there we go. And he announces Cena and Punk versus Ziggler and Swagger, which we thought at the time would be the main event. But it was kind of funny when you had Dolph Ziggler coming out, saying that Punk should worry about him. And then, you know, you had the match after this, didn't you? Which was quite interesting.
Well, the position of the match, I was thinking, okay, maybe they're doing this because obviously it's going to open up for things happen later in the show. But the positioning for wrestlers like Cena and CM Punk, they do deserve to be later in the card than an opening match.
Yeah, I mean, you had the whole half an hour pretty much focusing on these guys, these superstars. You had Cena, Punk versus Ziggler and Swagger. This match went about 11 minutes. You could say it's bad placing, but at the same time, they focused their whole half an hour on this segment, which I thought was good, generally because the Royal Rumble only has, what, 4 matches? So really, you need to focus all the time. You kind of what you've got involved at the Rumble and not really have any filler. And there wasn't too much filler in the show, so I didn't mind them focusing the first half an hour on that opener and then this match.
Well, with the opener, it hyped up the Rumble. It gave us more of a feeling about the Dolph and Punk match, the Kane and Cena. So it gave us a good feeling to that, as well as giving us the match that came next. So pretty nicely done there. Yeah,
and in the match itself, John Laurinaitis cost Punk the match and allows Ziggler to get the win. So you're making the heel look strong there. The sort of, you know, the heel looking strong, which is good. The match went a decent amount of time, even though there was adverts in between, which you could really say is a questionable card placing, you know, booking decision. But we'll leave that. And then after the match, Punk says he wants to beat the hell out of John Laurinaitis. He wants a match with him later, and Johnny Ace says, "Yeah, Punk, I accept."
The thing about this is that we had Ziggler coming out on top on there. I was a bit surprised that I really thought it was being another face win just because he has Swagger in his team.
Usually is.
Yeah, Swagger in his team, he's just useless. But then we had the whole Laurinaitis accepting a match as well. So 2 surprises in this segment. I liked it. It was something interesting and it gave us something to look forward to because we were all expecting this to happen later in the night.
We've got pretty much the main event announced, and also the first half an hour focused on, you know, the WWE title, you know, title match feud. It focused on, you know, the Cena and Kane thing as well there. So it was, you know, the first half an hour focused on what it really should have. And then after this, we got Chris Jericho's highlight reel. Now, I thought they would leave this on for a bit later in the night, but they really were going at it for the first hour, weren't they? Trying to get these viewers in for the first hour. Usually the viewers drop after the first hour, and I was thinking, bloody hell, I thought they would save all this for the second hour.
Well, with all the things that were going on, it kind of made us think, okay, what can they possibly do in the last hour? And all I can say is that it doesn't get that much worse after.
No, I mean, Jericho's highlight reel, you had the announcement that he'll be part of the Rumble. He's basically riling up all the fans. He grabs a bazooka, starts putting shirts into the crowd, grabs the camera as well, and we get that nice little video package of Jericho's highlights, you know, both of his returns, including this one, and all the things he's done, like winning the Undisputed Championship. That was a nice video package. And then he finally talks.
That's the thing, because at first, he was delaying the whole talk for quite some time, and we all thought, Oh, it's going to go back to that boring, Jericho not speaking. He hyped up, obviously, his video packages, and I thought, okay, he's just finding something different to add to his silence. But then he actually spoke, and I just thought, okay, I'm glad he actually said something, because obviously it was needed after all those weeks.
It was, yeah. He basically says, and this is a great quote, by the way, at the Royal Rumble, it will be the end of the world as we know it. So leaving us on that cliffhanger. So now I'm guessing he'll probably win the Royal Rumble. But at least it's hyping the Rumble. It's the segment focuses on Jericho. But it's nice to see the highlight reel back, though, as well. So, I mean, I thought this segment was generally pretty good. At least Jericho actually spoke and, it kind of did its job. I'll just say this, though. If he could talk all along, why didn't he talk before? All these theories about, there has to be a female there to talk for him. Well, there was no female here. So why couldn't he talk?
We had all our predictions on where this segment would go, and it completely surprised us when it led to Jericho not talking and talking. And now it's left us wondering, now he's spoken, are we going to actually get anything more about his return from his video package's return? But again, his words that he spoke may be disappointing for some people because it weren't like a long opening good promo. But again, he actually spoke, gave us some Royal Rumble bid, and so all we can see now is wait to the Rumble and see what he does.
I was happy with the segment, so I mean, I'll say this: it was a good segment to see Jericho finally talk and hype the Rumble up a little bit, so that was good. We then got a video package for all the numbers in Royal Rumble history. Every superstar is now eligible, apparently, and we got the whole thing with Mahal saying there's only been 2 winners from the #1 spot. I think they've forgotten Chris Benoit from that list, but we shall move on. Indeed, NJ. We then get Ryder versus Kane in that Falls Count Anywhere match. This is basically a Kane kicking Ryder's ass for probably a bit longer than he probably should have segment, wasn't it?
It came to a decent length match compared to what it could have been.
11 minutes.
11 minutes, but it could have maybe got less. But again, it was all about Kane getting the upper hand on Ryder, taking all his frustration out. Maybe he didn't do as much dominant stuff as he could have done.
He was pretty dominant, wasn't he? Pretty dominant.
He was, but I still expected more from it. They were in the audience, so there was a lot of things going on in this match, but it was the ending that obviously drew big attention to this match.
Yeah, at the end you had Ryder getting chokeslammed through the stage, which was quite a nice little spot, wasn't it? And they lingered on this for ages, didn't they? You had John Cena coming out to the ramp, getting some great reaction shots, and you had Eve going, I'm bad at acting. Oh my god, the cameras are my acting skills. Oh my god.
The thing about this is that obviously Cena, his face expression, I will give it a thumbs up. He did show emotion during this. Like he was scared, he was worried about Zack Ryder for some reason, and again, I give him thumbs up to that. He did let us know that Kane is a monster. He is someone to watch out for. And it helped this segment, I think. I
mean, it's Kane getting to Cena by kicking Ryder's ass. And also, I don't know if anyone else spotted this, but did anyone else spot Dean Malenko in the background? The Iceman, the man of 1,000 holds, whatever his name was. They did focus on this for a long time, which is good because it means it has more of an effect. It looks like now they're going to write Ryder off TV because later on they announced that he had a back injury, which means he's going to be out for like 6 months or something. Like back injury, is that the best they could come up with? But I mean,
the thing is, with Zack Ryder being so over, losing him for however long it's going to be, is going to be a bit of a shame because there were some fans or a lot of fans that liked him.
Yeah.
He became a US champion, and again, things were going so well for him. So for this to happen for him is a bit of a shame, but we'll just have to see if they can save the US Championship somehow.
Oh, well, they didn't exactly save it, giving it to Swagger. But this is basically a result of those ratings bombing from Zack Ryder, in my opinion. But that's what WWE do, I guess. You had the backstage segment where Eve was telling it was John Cena's fault, and then you have Matthews going to interview John, like, how must you be feeling after all that bullshit you've just done? And Cena just goes... That was funny. Someone Cena looked weird like that, didn't he? He looked fucking weird being a badass. But at least it brings out some anger in him, doesn't it?
Again, like I was speaking earlier, during the Zack Ryder match, he was showing emotion, and we're seeing something different in John Cena, something that maybe will add more effect to his match at the Royal Rumble. So I'm going to say that even though it was not really Cena's character, we're starting to see something build, so maybe they keep going with it. Maybe Cena can get less what he normally is.
I thought it was a good segment overall, though. So we'll move on to Jinder Mahal versus Sheamus. Goddamn, how many times have we seen this match now? And people say this is, like Michael say, this is a great feud. What a great rivalry. But have we ever seen Jinder Mahal win a match? It's just, why are these two in a feud? I will say this, though. This was just a squash match. At least you had the focus at the end on Barrett and Sheamus. And the focus was on them two winning the Royal Rumble and them two being like competitors to both win the Royal Rumble. So I could overlook the Sheamus Jinder Mahal thing, kind of, because we had some good Barrett and Sheamus interaction, which is the main feud I think they should concentrate on.
The thing about this match is that when I saw it, I thought, oh, not again. We've seen it in the last few weeks. And the other thing is, you had Barrett on commentary, thumbs up to that. But the thing about this is that I was expecting an involvement in the match instead of just sitting there allowing it to happen. Do a heel thing. Maybe, I know it'd be bad, but make it end with the DQ or something just to add more to affect the match. But then again, the match itself, I wanted something different to happen to it. I was just kind of disappointed that it just went clean with another squash.
I mean, you kind of have to expect. I mean, it is Jinder Mahal. I mean, I like the fact how Barrett comes out to commentate, and then his commentary is really good. Then he talks about Orton possibly returning on SmackDown. I was like, is Orton's returning on SmackDown? I thought it was supposed to be surprise entrant at the Rumble. I don't know whether that was a botch there on Barrett's part, but whatever. But I mean, if you look over the fact that it was Jinder Mahal and Sheamus again, at least you had Sheamus on the mic after saying that he's going to win the Royal Rumble, and Barrett saying, oh, I'll see you there, backing down the ramp. So, I mean, it did have some positive elements to it, despite it being a very repetitive match, which you've seen a lot.
The thing is, again, this is a SmackDown thing, so it's making me think that maybe it was good they added a SmackDown gimmick match on Raw, but again, maybe more will come from SmackDown, but I did like the fact they mentioned the Rumble and hyped up that these two are the strong competitors in the Rumble.
No Daniel Bryan tonight on Raw. Hey? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Why heavyweight champion not on Raw before the Royal Rumble? Saving for SmackDown, I guess.
That's it, that's what I see it.
Yeah.
So.
We then have a very interesting backstage segment between R-Truth and Miz, where Miz is talking about being the most most entertaining, basically like ripping off The Rock, kind of, when he does that, doesn't he? But just when you thought R-Truth's character could not get any cornier, he comes out and starts saying what Miz is number one jackass, number one arsehole, number one nincompoop, all that bullshit. God, R-Truth's character's gotten so corny now. They're really trying to make him appeal to kids, aren't they?
The thing about this is that, again, maybe it wasn't as funny as he's been in the past weeks, but again, the way he just got into Miz's face, called him all these names, really added, insult to injury, and then they was going on to a match was being made. I
mean, the match was announced earlier in the night, and Laurinaitis comes in during the segment and announces that whoever loses this match will be the number one entrant into the Royal Rumble. And I just like, oh well, I didn't really want to see this match on free TV, but at least they've added something to it which gives it some meaning towards the Rumble, which I guess was good. But we'll move on to our opinions on that when we get to the match, shall we?
We should do, yes.
Yeah, because next we had the Funkasaurus, Brodus Clay, versus the one-man rock band Heath Slater. And my God, if I was going to pick anyone for Brodus Clay to squash, it had to be Heath Slater because he just sucks.
The thing about this is that, again, it started off with him laughing at Brodus Clay, but then obviously Brodus Clay was going to get the final laugh.
Brodus should be laughing at Heath Slater because he's a joke. It was just a squash match, really, wasn't it?
Pretty much. Again, Brodus Clay did botches when he tried to rip off his trousers, but botches happen.
What male can really rip off their trousers like that, especially, you know what I mean? But you had Regal on commentary, and it kind of looks like they're trying to tease a Regal-Brodus Clay feud at some point, but, basically Brodus Clay squashes Heath Slater, it's Brodus Clay dancing, it's entertaining in my book, so this is, this was a good segment if you just look at it for what it was.
One, Brits dominate commentary, and the other thing is, again, it was a squash match. Brodus Clay got a match on Raw, so it's getting him more involved in the show, so it was worth it. R-Truth versus Miz now. I think we both agreed here that we would have liked to have seen this match saved for the pay-per-view. Do you know what I mean? And I was thinking, do they really need to have this match on the show? Especially when you could save this for a pay-per-view, like maybe even like a WrestleMania or something, rather than having it end clean on free TV. Even though it had Royal Rumble implications, I really didn't want to see this match on free TV, even though it was decent. Well, when I heard this match was going to be a match on Raw, I was kind of disappointed because I was thinking that the way these two have been building up, it could have been a possible Rumble match. But then again, they're going to be in the Rumble, and this match had importance for the Rumble, so I just thought it's disappointing, but it's a match that has importance, so go with it. Yeah, Truth wins the match clean. Truth has a new shirt as well, which shows that he may be getting a push, which is why Miz has never looked strong in this rivalry at all. I just sort of... Truth won it clean, and Miz will be the number one entrant. I don't have too much of a problem with it, but the one thing I do have a problem with is if they're going to stretch this feud out, have they made Miz look strong in this feud at all? It's just, I know R-Truth has returned, but they've only ever really made R-Truth look strong in this feud, which is kind of puzzling, really, especially seeing Miz was a WWE champion last year. Well, two things I'm going to say about this is that with R-Truth winning this, I'm thinking now we have Miz, number one, there's a big chance they can make Miz look strong, maybe not all the way through, hopefully, but go quite far in it. And R-Truth winning, well, Maybe they'll someone make the feud continue, like they'll have Miz eliminate R-Truth or something like that to keep it going.
Take it to WrestleMania.
It would be interesting if they do stretch it afterwards, yes.
Yeah, we then get to our main event. CM Punk. Who was he going to face? Because you had that little backstage segment where David Otunga gave him a little fax, and then they come to the ring. Otunga and Laurinaitis come to the ring and reads the fact that says that John Laurinaitis will be getting a formal job evaluation next week, not the Rumble, next week. And it is going to be conducted by your boy Triple H, and he could lose his job. And he apologises to Triple H, he's apologising to Punk and everything, isn't he? I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to screw you.
And Triple H is making an appearance on Raw, so I can't be happy about. I could be happy about that. You see?
Yeah. What you got there? Oh my God, you got David Otunga's little thing that looks nothing like it. But anyway,
that is very true.
We get the announcement of John Laurinaitis that Foley will be in the Rumble match, and he said, "I only screw. Why did you screw you, Punk? Because you made fun of me." And and you see this like great interaction between Punk and Laurinaitis, and we find out that the match tonight isn't going to happen, but we got a suitable replacement in David Otunga, the Jobber, and Punk makes David Otunga tap in, 30 seconds? And then we have that whole interaction between Laurinaitis and Punk again, which we were going to really... It's been leading up to for a while now with the rivalry between those two.
The thing about this is that, again, they may be using Otunga in a lot of segments in the past, but having him here, taking up Punk, at first I was thinking, gosh, he's actually beating a Punk.
Nah.
But obviously it came to when Punk actually does what he normally does best, which is lock in his submission move and just take out Otunga, kicks him back, and then goes straight to Laurinaitis.
Yeah, and basically we go straight to Laurinaitis and he gives him the GTS. What a great feeling that was. It's kind of like an Austin McMahon feeling, isn't it? With Punk going kind of back to his sort of edgier self and then GTS in John Laurinaitis. That was kind of a nice moment to end on Raw, wasn't it?
With that, again, we all waiting for Laurinaitis to be taken down. We all knew Punk was going to be the one to do it because of the feud and that. We just waited for the right time. Maybe because now we've got this whole Laurinaitis possibly leaving. They've done it at the right time. Maybe it'll happen again at the Rumble, but the way they finished the Raw with this, it gave us a good feeling. Punk's got upper hand over Laurinaitis at that.
Yeah, so will Laurinaitis call it down the middle with his job on the line, I guess? Will he even have a job next week? Even if Triple H could just do one thing before he goes into the office.
You're fired!
Please let it be that, but I don't know. Laurinaitis hasn't been too bad lately. But then the great way to end the show is you have Ziggler coming in, despite all the distraction and all the focus on Laurinaitis and Punk. You had Ziggler coming in and you had him kind of botching his zigzag to end the show. But it's nice to see a sort of young heel ending the show on top on a go-home show. Do you know what I mean? Kind of like a Bobby Roode would be.
What I'm going to say about this is that obviously with their title match coming up at Royal Rumble, we needed Ziggler to look strong over Punk and make him look like he's a competitor and is strong enough to go against Punk. So for him to go on top on the last chance that he had, I thought it was really nicely done. Yeah, and they focused a lot of their time on the segments they really needed to. So I generally thought this Raw was pretty good. I did think it was a good go-home show and entertaining Raw as well. I thought it was pretty good. They focused the right amount of time on what they should have done, which was, with the lack of matches they got at Rumble, is really what they should have done, which meant there was a lot less filler in this show, which meant things have more meaning and they could be more enjoyable. I said this Raw was actually pretty good. I give this a B, maybe even a B+ if I'm being really generous. Well, the way I see it is that, again, most of the segments we got, apart from Bros Clay and all that, it all led to something. It gave us Rumble feeling, and I'm really saying that this show, it was definitely a positive. It gave us what we needed on a go-home show, so I'm going to give it a strong B. Yep, so a generally good Raw go-home show. First time in a while they've done a good go-home show, isn't it? Usually we rant the fuck out of go-home shows. The only problem I had really with the show was the whole Miz and Truth having their match. That was really it. There wasn't too many other issues there either, apart from maybe giving out Sheamus. So, yeah, generally good Raw. Make sure you guys get your thoughts on this Raw. You may agree or disagree with us down in that comment section below. And now I will leave you to Terminator NJ to end the video. Well, guys, it could be my chance next week on Raw to take over Raw, you know, as the GM, you know what I'm saying? And all I'm going to say now, people, is thank you for tuning into another Raw review from the British Fist, which is Mr. Parkin and me, NJ. Till next time, people, keep smiling and goodbye.